everyone, I'm ColecoNut, and I'd like to share some information I have on my collection of Colecovision controllers. And hopefully you will get something out of this and maybe investigate the Colecovision. It's a really nice console, 1982, and there's a lot of good games out there. And I've really taken to this console and owned one since 1983. And I want to share with you some of the information I have on my collection of Colecovision controllers. This is the original one, the black one. It came with the Colecovision. Has a joystick portion, 2 separate fire buttons, and a numeric keypad. You use the keypad, first of all, in most games to select a difficulty level, 1 or 2 players. Some of the games have overlays that you slide in, and then you can use certain keys to do certain functions in certain games. I find it fairly responsive, not too bad for its day. I do see a lot of videos on YouTube where these people complain about the controllers and say, well, they're not very responsive, and they're trying to use their thumb, a la in television, to use these controllers. I couldn't do that in a million years. I don't blame them. It's a two-handed controller. It's a joystick. Okay, fire buttons and keypad with this hand, joystick moving in this hand. 8 directions, 6-foot coiled cord. Not a bad controller, really, in my mind. I've had a fair amount of success in refurbishing these things. They're fairly simple innards, and I just do some cleaning from time to time, and they work like new again. The original controller spec had a roller on the circuit board inside, but the roller was not implemented in the final release of these controllers. So that's the standard Colecovision controller that you'll see with any basic Colecovision console that you see. In 1983 they came out with expansion number 3, which was the Atom computer, and then later made it also available as a standalone computer that plays all the Colecovision games, plus has the ability to run software and word processing and this type of thing. Had a daisy wheel printer. To match the color scheme of the Coleco Atom, they came out with new controllers that were of a beige color, but I have opened up these controllers. They are exactly the same. Don't let anybody tell you that these are newer or better. They are the same. Newer, well, this is 28 years old and this 27, so I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Otherwise, they are the same. Some people like these because they think, oh, it's newer. Well, not exactly true. One of the innovations that Coleco came up with is the Super Action joystick. It came with 4 buttons instead of 2. Did introduce that roller I was talking about. Still has the same numeric keypad and somewhat of a bizarro but futuristic in 1980s terms joystick. I found these a little bit, my experience anyway, is that these are a little bit more fragile than the other standard controllers, and I have to repair these more often than I do the others, but still very refurbishable, if there's such a word. Came bundled, a pair of these in the original box came bundled with the Super Action Baseball. They also came out with other games that used them. Super Action Football, Super Action Soccer, Rocky Boxing, and other games like Spy Hunter could use these as well. The Super Action controller. Some third parties came out with controllers as well, like they always do for every system. A lot of these are of the stick it on the table and fly the plane kind of thing. Although there's no flying games really. Well, that's not exactly true. But a lot of these are okay. Again, they're missing the numeric keypad, but you can plug one of these into controller number 2 port, plug this into controller number 1, stick it on the table, and you know, Spectra Video came out with one. This is not a Spectra Video, it's kind of like a no-name Taiwan one, I believe. Certainly functional, but no great advancement over the original. One controller that I do like, however, is the Coleco Gemini controller. Coleco, yes, but for the Colecovision, well, not intentionally. The Coleco Gemini system actually is an Atari 2600 clone, and I find these controllers very responsive, and I like them very much. I'm able to get some high scores on this. Just one fire button. It's really a right-handed controller, isn't it, in that respect, in my mind. The paddle for paddle games on the Atari, and I find this very responsive. So what I do again is I plug the original controller into port 1, my Gemini controller in the other port, and I have quite a bit of success with this one. I like this one quite a bit. I have other third-party joysticks. Unfortunately, I didn't have them ready for this presentation, but Suncom came out with a good one, the Joy Sensor. Wico came out with some, again, Spectra Video. There's a number of third-party joysticks that did come out. One limitation that the joysticks have is that coiled 6-foot cord, which I find short because I like to sit way far away from the TV. So what I did was I went out and got these 6-foot extensions. So maybe not that easy to find nowadays, but if you see them for 9 pins, male and female, they likely will work, and I like them quite a bit. Third party. Speaking of third party, some people have jumped on the bandwagon more recently and come up with some very, very sweet products. This is a fellow by the name of Double Down, and he's created a set of custom joysticks for the ColecoVision in the color scheme of Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong. And he's updated the joystick with a small ball, which makes it a little easier to use. Perhaps the original joystick should have had that as well. You could argue that they should have had that as well. But he's done a superb job on these. He's used a very special dye that adheres very well. It's not like a paint or some other kind of stain that's going to chip and crack over time. These are sweet, sweet controllers, and I'm very, very happy to have them in my collection. Expensive, yes, but I don't regret it for a minute. More recently, I picked up this, and I'm really happy with these. This is a set of Mario Brothers controllers for the ColecoVision and Coleco Atom, and these are sweet as sugar. I mean, he's done an extremely good job. A fellow by the name of Yurki made these and made them very small quantities, and I was very happy to have picked up a set. Now I'm just waiting on my copy of Mario Brothers for the ColecoVision, which hopefully is in the mail even as I speak, and perhaps I'll do a presentation on that in a future date. As soon as I get that, have a chance to have a look. Here's a screenshot on the back, and again, expensive, but for me, I'm a hardcore collector, I suppose, of Coleco, and I had no misgivings whatsoever picking up that set because truly unique. So that's it. Some of you I know like to see gameplay during some of these videos, but there's lots of those on YouTube, so I'll leave that up to you to have a look at some of these ColecoVision games actually in action. I just wanted to give you a highlight of some of the controllers that were made available and then are currently being made even today in the 21st century. Perhaps I can show you at another time a presentation on my ColecoVision mod. Uses 3 RCA jacks, much easier to hook up to your modern television, VCR, DVD player component set. Really nice picture, improved sound, and information on this and anything else that you'd like to hear about, jump on my website, www.rarity9.com, and it's the word 9, not the number 9, www.rarity9.com. Leave me an email there, a message on what you'd like to see. Take care, bye for now.